Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and this is early January 2025, and we are driving around, I guess you could say, parts of eastern Kentucky. On this particular day, I would find myself in Paintsville, Louisa, or is it Louisa? I'm not sure, and Richardsonville, Kentucky, trying to find spots relating to the Paintsville UFO train encounter. I'm not sure if there's an actual formal name of this event. The Paintsville UFO and Train Collision, 2002 Paintsville UFO event, and it's really not in Paintsville. It's, from what I could figure and kind of get from a map, I started mapping this and trying to put some stuff together. I believe this actually happened in Richardson, Kentucky, if I'm correct. And I could be wrong about that. In fact, I'm halfway hoping somebody out there with more knowledge than I do might have some more information on this. I believe it was Lawrence County. And I was looking around on the maps and trying to figure out where the train and the UFO collided. I guess I should back up a little bit. I guess if you're interested in UFO and strange events in Kentucky, this is a pretty famous one, but also somewhat of a mysterious one. 2002, January, a train conductor filed a report that his train kind of collided with a UFO. There was a little bit of contact made, and I believe it happened kind of around where we're at right now. I'm following these railroad tracks, and I believe I'm in the right area. Again, Richardson, Kentucky. And, he kind of reported where the mile marker was and how far away he was from Paintsville on his way to Paintsville. And I just kind of did some rough math, and I believe the actual collision happened in Richardson, and they took their train on into Paintsville, made their report. Some other strange events happened, some kind of Men in Black type stuff, and some trains were removed, confiscated, that kind of thing. And it's one of those strange UFO lore type events in Kentucky. And honestly, there's not a whole lot out there on it. At the end of the day, it looks like the conductor may have had a small collision with something, might have tapped something along the way, a tree branch or something like that. But I'm not real sure. There's a few places online that have some information, of course, other than a report. There's not a whole lot of source info on it. I did see online where some employees of the railroad reported that they felt like, that they could see the railroad company kind of coming in and covering things up if something like this would have happened. Anyway, I thought it was a fun way to kill a Saturday and go out and check out some places that I hadn't been to. So we drove, like I said, we drove up towards Louisa, and there's a very cute little coffee shop, pastry place there. We found a place called Deja Brew and Sweets 2. And man, if you're in that area, stop there. Very sweet little people running the place. We had some nice coffee and donuts. We sat there and enjoyed the vibe for a bit. They also had some retro candy, kind of a cool retro candy shop. Of course, I bought some candy cigarettes because you should buy candy cigarettes. It's a gateway candy. So that was a cool place. And then we made our way down here. And again, if my math is correct, I think we were just in the area where the collision occurred. Yeah, so there's that. And then we drove on to Paintsville. which is a nicer town than it's given credit for. I really liked Paintsville. Again, they have some railroad tracks, railroad history, and we just kind of drove around town a bit. And I kind of look forward to getting to Paintsville again some other day. I didn't get to explore it as much as I would have liked. But yeah, this is roughly where I believe the Paintsville UFO encounter occurred. And I believe this was about 15 miles, 20 miles outside of Paintsville, actually. And again, I'm mostly putting this video up because I'm curious. I want to know if anybody else knows a little more about this, or has some better information than I have, or even has more information. Surely there are some people that might have some first-hand knowledge that would like to discuss this. But yeah, I just kind of enjoyed it. You know, this Richardson area, very rural, and just a very pleasant drive, and I kind of enjoyed just being there. And I enjoyed making this little drive. It's the kind of place reminded me of where I grew up in western Kentucky, out in the country. I did see a couple of dogs taking naps, laying around in the road. Of course, the locals know, to watch your speed in case your neighbor's dog might be doing that. And, people visiting also know to watch your speed anyway. But it was that kind of a place. It was the kind of place where I think everybody kind of knew everybody else. And it's by a railroad track. My wife and I were once looking for houses, and a realtor showed us a house by a railroad track. It was a very nice house. I liked it, and I liked the idea of living by a railroad track. My wife did not like the idea of living by a railroad track, and our realtor advised us against buying the house from an investment standpoint. But I've always loved railroads. I've kind of romanticized them in my mind. And I know going to Berea, we had railroad would come through town, and I'd hear that whistle blow, and it would give me goosebumps. Anyway, so yeah, the Paintsville UFO train collision incident. If you know anything about it, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any info on the exact spot where it happened. If you disagree with me, let me know, because I'm not sure if I'm correct or not. Thanks.